Well, I've accomplished my goal. I've bought a nightingale with nothing but the money I've made from selling inventions through Etsy. The Etsy page itself was made for the sole purpose of funding this purchase, and thanks to the generosity of the person who sold me the nightingale, and of course to all of you who bought my interesting designs, I've done it. I am proud of myself. In the list of accomplishments I've made so far in my life, this won't be a footnote. Through turning my creativity into wacky things, and through your graciousness in buying them, I have achieved something that I hold to be rather significant. And so, from the bottom of my heart, I owe you my thanks. This project, it really does mean a lot to me. It started 9 months ago just because I thought it would be cool to have a Nerf blaster on your arm. It is. And though I knew full well that I didn't have the slightest idea on the specifics of how Nerf blasters worked, how the hobbyists built them, the design standards they'd like to see, I decided that I would just do it for myself, if nothing else. And yeah, turned out really well, I dare say. I decided to start selling the design just to see what would happen. And now I find myself here. And now what? I bought the nightingale. Thank you, sir, for selling it to me, by the way. What's next? I find myself at a crossroads, and I think this is an excellent time to monologue about it. You see, before I explain my future intentions with my store, there are several pitfalls I intend to avoid, at least for the present. The first is popularity. I get addicted to attention very easily. When people think my things are cool and that I am smart and they admire my stuff, it makes me very happy, perhaps too much so. And popularity should not be my primary goal. I don't need it, I shouldn't want it. The next is greed. I shouldn't make things just to sell them. I mean, I never make things for the sole purposes of just benefiting from them, and I never should. That's lazy and selfish. Now, obviously having the spare pocket change as a college student is lovely because it enables me to make purchases such as a nightingale. Thank you for selling it to me, by the way, sir. But seeking the money should never be my primary goal. Thirdly, and lastly, is obligation and priority. I have no obligation to design these things. I post them for fun. I do not depend on this shop in any way that will cause me to die if it is lost. I have a life, I have friends, I play video games. I only design this as a hobby, a tiny side career. And it is just that, a tiny side career. I have no ambition to make it anything but that. And I don't need it to grow or to do anything. I don't need this. So now that I've accomplished an arbitrary goal for myself that I'm very satisfied with, what's next? Well, I have a couple options. Firstly, I could quit, I could delete everything off of the internet, and I could vanish. That would avoid popularity, greed, and obligation. I'm not sure if I want to, but I certainly could. Secondly, I could do nothing. Things are going smoothly as they are, and I could leave it at that. I could post no more designs, but also take nothing away, and continue the exchange of money for goods and services until it eventually tapers off, and that'll be that. No popularity, I find no greed in it, and there would be no obligation or priority to speak of. Thirdly, I could continue to invent and to post things. I have more inventions that I'm working on or have already finished. I could post them to my store and sell them too. However, this poses some risks. The first is popularity. I'm not prideful enough to assume that just the act of making things will make me popular, but any slight increase in attention will make me hunger for more. So if I go through with this route, then I will have to be more cautious. The second risk is greed. My products aren't worth a king's ransom. I'll have to be careful to sell them for exactly what they're worth, if that. I mean, I'm not going to be so proud to assume that this is the perfect item that everyone will want. It's fun, it's cool, but it's not the end-all be-all. And I need to be aware of that and sell it for just that. No matter how hard I worked for it, this is what it is at the end of the day. Lastly is my obligation to the store. Like, if I post more things, I might feel obligated to improve them or to make sure people enjoy them as much as possible. After all, they're paying for them. I'll have to remember that at no point am I required to do that. However, if I want to, then I absolutely may. I am the master, not the shop. Now, at this time, options 2 or 3 appeal to me greatly. And it's not as if any of my choices here are set in stone. I'm in charge, so I get to change my mind anytime that I like. Now, I know how unlikely it is that any of my customers who have bought my product are watching this. And it's even less likely that any of you are actually as impressed with it so as to actually care with anything I'm doing here. Nevertheless, I am in charge of this channel, and so I decided to ask you, the hypothetical audience, your thoughts on the matter. While I'm on that topic, why did 100 people decide to subscribe to this channel? Is it because of the memes? I don't post this often. I suspect most of you are bots anyway. Kindly unsubscribe, please? Maybe? I digress. Perhaps you may pose an option I hadn't yet considered. Perhaps you jokers will tell me to make real guns. Again. Whatever the case, I thank you for your time and patience in listening to this monologue.